With 311 miles of pristine Caribbean coastline, Puerto Rico is a dream destination for beach lovers. And with over 300 beaches to choose from in this vibrant tropical paradise, the options are seemingly endless. So how can you possibly determine which beach is best for your Puerto Rico adventure? Well, we're going to help you do just that. We're Jamie and Skylar, and we love Puerto Rico's beaches. And over the last few years, we've explored a lot of them. And in this video, we're going to rank our top Puerto Rico beaches from 1 to 15, based on criteria such as amenities, accessibility, uniqueness, and beauty. But since we know that the best beach for us may not be the best beach for you, we're going to also explain why each beach may rank higher or lower on your personal list. Now let's get this list started with our number 15 beach in Puerto Rico, Luquillo Beach. Located just around 30 miles east of San Juan, Luquillo Beach is known for its scenic beauty and numerous amenities. With its soft sand, clear turquoise waters, and picturesque coconut palms, this beach is without a doubt one of Puerto Rico's prettiest. In addition to its beauty, Luquillo Beach offers some of the best amenities of any beach on this list, including a number of spots to purchase food and drinks, chair and umbrella rentals, water sport rentals, and a souvenir shop. Access to bathrooms, changing rooms, and storage lockers is also available, but at a small fee. This beach also gains some points for families, as it's just one of 2 beaches on this list with lifeguards. Luquillo Beach is protected by a coral reef, making the waters generally quite calm. And there is a large roped-off area designated for swimming, where surfboards and bodyboards are not allowed. Luquillo Beach also has perhaps the most parking of any beach on this list, and while you will have to walk a little ways to get from the parking lot to the beach, the paths are paved and in pretty good shape. Another major perk of Luquillo Beach is its proximity to the Luquillo kiosks, which are located less than a mile down the road. Here you'll find a collection of around 60 family-owned kiosks selling souvenirs and a variety of authentic Puerto Rico cuisine, including some of our favorite Puerto Rican staples, coffee and pinchos. Each kiosk is located right on the beach, and many offer some amazing views such as this one from El Arrecife and Kiosk 35. Now, despite all these positives, Luquillo Beach does have a few drawbacks that keep it from the top of this list. The first of those is the cost, as visitors do have to pay $10 per vehicle to access the main parking area. Additionally, the large parking lot and ease of access do make this beach a quite popular one, which can make this one of the most crowded beaches on our list on the weekends, although we found it to not be too busy during the week. So if you're looking for a more secluded beach feel without the crowds and the parking cost, Luquillo Beach is probably not the best beach for you. But if you're visiting the beach with a family, don't mind paying to park, and don't mind a potentially crowded and more commercialized feeling beach, then Luquillo Beach may very well rank at the top of your list. The number 14 beach on this list takes us around 25 miles southeast to the island of Vieques, which is widely known to have some of the best beaches in the entire Caribbean. And one of the most unique beaches you'll find on this beautiful island is Sea Glass Beach. Now, unlike Luquillo Beach, Sea Glass Beach is not known for its amenities. In fact, it really has none whatsoever. But like Luquillo Beach, it's another good option for families, as kids and adults alike can spend hours searching for the smooth, polished pieces of sea glass that wash up along the shoreline. In addition to being the perfect spot for a beachfront treasure hunt, the typically calm waters at this beach make it a good spot for swimming, although precautions should be taken as there are no lifeguards at this beach. Another perk of Sea Glass Beach is that it's located just a few short blocks from the ferry terminal and many of the bars and restaurants, shops, and Airbnbs in Isabel Segunda. But despite its prime location, this beach isn't known for being busy, as it's not uncommon to have it nearly all to yourself, especially on a weekday. And you can leave your sun umbrella at home while visiting this beach, as the many overhanging trees provide plenty of shade along the shoreline. Now, while it won't cost you anything to access Sea Glass Beach, you also won't find any nearby parking lots, meaning you'll likely have to get dropped off or walk a few blocks to get to this beach. The somewhat challenging accessibility and complete lack of amenities does keep Sea Glass Beach from the top of this list. But if a family-friendly beach with an abundance of free entertainment is what you crave on your Puerto Rico beach vacation, then Sea Glass Beach will surely rank towards the top of your personal list. The 13th ranked beach on this list takes us back to the Puerto Rican mainland, where at the far southwest corner of the island, you'll find Playa El Combate. With its long stretches of golden sand beach and its shallow, calm, and incredibly clear waters, Playa El Combate is a Puerto Rican paradise for beach walkers and swimmers alike. The beach is part of the Boquerón State Forest, which provides for a very natural and non-commercialized beach feel. And those who are into hiking and biking can find an extensive trail system running parallel to the beach. While the more northern sections of this beach are known to get a little bit busy at times, the sections of beach further to the south will almost always provide you with a secluded beach feel. And while we've never had the chance to be on this beach at dusk, rumor has it that this is where you'll find some of the very best Puerto Rican sunsets. Similar to Sea Glass Beach, you'll find plenty of natural shade on Playa El Combate, but no lifeguards, restrooms, or much of anything else for amenities. And while accessing this beach is free, it will require quite a bit of walking, as off-street parking is quite abundant, but is also located a few hundred feet from the beach. With its somewhat challenging access, lack of amenities, and lack of palm trees, Playa Combate isn't one of the very top beaches on our list. But if a more natural-feeling beach with calm, crystal-clear waters sounds like the perfect beach escape for you, then Playa El Combate will surely rank much higher on your list. The number 12 beach on this list takes us back to the island of Vieques, where on the picturesque southern coastline, you'll find Playa La Chiva. Now, like many of the best beaches you'll find on Vieques, Playa La Chiva isn't the easiest to access, as you'll have to drive several miles down a pretty poorly maintained road before arriving at this beach. But once you get there, you'll be rewarded with clear waters, gorgeous palm trees, and miles of white sand beach. While waters at most Vieques beaches are a beautiful shade of blue, the waters here tend to be especially vibrant, which is why this beach is also commonly known as Blue Beach. Certain sections of Playa La Chiva are known to be quite popular at times, and with miles of beach and 20 different accesses, you'll always have space to get away from the crowds. While some of these accesses do offer covered picnic areas, other amenities are non-existent. And while visiting Playa La Chiva at any of these accesses is free, you'll be miles from any food, drinks, and possibly cell phone reception. Although the waters were abnormally rough on our visit to this beach, sections of the beach are known to be quite clear and calm, offering some of the best snorkeling in all of Puerto Rico. This beach is often identified as one of the most beautiful in the Caribbean, but it didn't even make our top 4 beaches on Vieques, which is less of a knock on Playa La Chiva and more of a testament to just how stunning this island is. But if your dream beach spot includes a beach you can walk for miles and some of the most bright blue waters the Caribbean has to offer, then Playa La Chiva just might be your number 1. The next beach on this list takes us to the northwest corner of the mainland, which is perhaps the most beautiful section of Puerto Rico and is home to several of the island's most stunning beaches. And one of those beaches comes in at number 11 on this list, and that's Survival Beach. To access Survival Beach, you'll first need to drive to Surfers Beach. Parking at Surfers Beach is abundant and free, and as you can see, it's a pretty beautiful beach in its own right. Now, if you're like many, and your dream day at the beach involves as little exercise as possible, then you may just want to stay right here at Surfers Beach. But if you're in decent shape, are up for a little adventure, and enjoy a somewhat challenging hike, then heading onwards to Survival Beach is a must. The hike takes around 20 to 30 minutes each way for most, and involves climbing over and under branches and up and down some pretty steep terrain. And while this definitely did make us work up a sweat, the beautiful scenery along the trail made us enjoy every step of the way. About halfway through the hike to Survival Beach, you'll reach another beautiful beach known as Tabletop, and while we couldn't blame you for wanting to end your hike here, we'd recommend continuing on just a little bit further. Not far from Tabletop, you'll reach the incredibly unique and beautiful Survival Beach with its golden sand, gigantic rock formations, and caves. Now, unfortunately, our visit to Survival Beach was during high tide when much of the beach was underwater and the caves were not safe to access. However, we still found the beauty of this beach to be second to none. Now, we did see a few children and older adults on our hike to Survival Beach, but due to the strong waves at this beach and the challenging hike to get there, we definitely wouldn't describe this beach as family friendly. And if it's a relaxing beach day you're after, you could probably do much better. But if your dream day at the beach comes with a side of adventure, Survival Beach could easily rank at the top of your list. With 5 of our top 15 Puerto Rico beaches down, it's time to reveal the number 10 ranked beach on our list. And this, once again, takes us back to the southern shores of Vieques, where you'll find one of the most beautiful beachfront drives in the entire Caribbean at Sun Bay Beach. Now, unlike Playa La Chiva to the east, Sun Bay Beach is not located in the wildlife refuge, meaning accessing this beach is significantly easier. Visitors will also find plenty of places to park for free and no fees for accessing the beach. You'll find a few more amenities here as well, such as restrooms, picnic areas, and even a cafe. But due to the significantly easier access and increased amenities at this beach, it does tend to be much more popular. And while you usually won't find much for crowds during the week, the beach can fill up a bit on the weekends. Now, while the beautiful palms and ivory sands are definitely highlights of this beach, the number one draw of Sun Bay Beach for many has to be the horses, as this is perhaps the only place in the Caribbean where it's not at all uncommon to share the beach with one of these guys. Now, if you're looking for the ultimate secluded beach experience, you'll probably prefer some of the beaches a little further to the east on this island. But if you prefer an easier access beach that doesn't sacrifice much in the way of beauty, then Sun Bay Beach may be your top beach on Vieques and maybe even all of Puerto Rico. The next beach on this list takes us northeast to the island of Culebra, which is even smaller than Vieques but every bit as beautiful. And like Vieques, Culebra can be accessed quickly and very inexpensively from the main island, making the beaches on both of the smaller islands much more accessible than you'd probably think. Now, unlike Vieques, where most of the best beaches are found on the southern coast of the island, the best beaches on Culebra can be found on the north coast, including the famous Flamenco Beach and our number 9 ranked Puerto Rico beach, Playa Brava. Similar to Vieques, some of the best beaches on Culebra will require a bit of a hike, and the hike to get to Playa Brava will take around a half hour. But while the trail is quite long, it's also wide, relatively flat, and overall quite easy. That said, there isn't much shade on the trail, so it can get quite hot. Once you arrive at Playa Brava, you'll find absolutely no amenities, but on the bright side, there's a good chance you'll find hardly any people as well. While the highlight of this beach has to be its bright blue waters and seemingly untouched beauty, it is known to be a good spot for snorkeling as well, but you'll need to be a strong swimmer to venture out into these waters, as the waves here are known to often be strong. Now, if you don't do big waves but still want to cool down, you can do just that in one of Playa Brava's tide pools. Now, if you don't like to hike, don't like big waves, and require some amenities for your day at the beach, this beach is definitely not for you. But if seclusion and beauty are tops on your list, Playa Brava could easily be your number one. Now, if you're enjoying this list so far and would like to see much more beautiful beach footage from our travels throughout Puerto Rico and much more of the Caribbean, we'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on. Our number 8 ranked beach destination takes us to the north coast of the main island, where you'll find perhaps the most unique spot on this list. Now, this certainly isn't your traditional beach, and some would argue it's not really a beach at all, but Cueva del Indio is definitely a spot worth visiting for most. When you arrive at Cueva del Indio, you'll find one of the best parking situations of any beach on this list, as the lot is large and monitored. On the downside, it does cost $10 per person to access Cueva del Indio from the main lot, which makes this the most expensive beach destination on our list. While parking is easy, accessing the shoreline does require a bit of a hike over some pretty challenging terrain. And while this doesn't take too long, it is quite treacherous. Not only is the limestone quite sharp, but there are also several large holes in it that you could easily fall through if you're not paying attention. For this reason, Cueva del Indio is probably the least family-friendly spot on this list, and also the worst spot for those with limited hiking experience. But if you're a little bit brave and very careful, you can be rewarded with some of Puerto Rico's most amazing coastal views. In addition to enjoying the views from the top of these massive rock formations, you can also venture down this flight of stone stairs to get closer to the water and to the cave. Now, if you search Cueva del Indio online, you'll probably see some pictures of a ladder leading down into the cave, but unfortunately, the ladder no longer exists, although the cave supposedly can still be accessed by crawling through this crack. While accessing the cave is likely not an option for most, visiting Cueva del Indio is still well worth it in our opinion for these amazing views alone. So if you prioritize adventure and views on your beach vacation, Cueva del Indio might be the best beach destination for you. Coming in at number 7 on our list of top Puerto Rico beaches is Playa Pata Prieta. Perhaps better known as Secret Beach, you'll find this beautiful spot tucked away along the southern coast of Vieques. Like Playa La Chiva just to the east, Playa Pata Prieta is located within the refuge, making it a bit of a challenge to access. And while it's a much smaller beach than Playa La Chiva, it shares its same vivid blue waters and has an even more secluded feel. In fact, we had this beach entirely to ourselves on our visit, making it really feel like we we discovered our own secret beach. We also found the waters at Playa Pata Prieta to be quite calm compared to some of the other Vieques beaches, even on an abnormally windy and wavy day. For that reason, we'd rank this beach above average for swimming, although waves can vary based on winds and weather patterns, and there are definitely no lifeguards here. The clear and often calm waters also make this one of Vieques' better snorkeling spots, and even though the winds on our visit were quite strong, we were still able to spot a few fish close to shore. Now, along with the secluded feel of this beach comes the typical downfalls, including no amenities and likely no cell phone reception. But if your ideal beach day includes peace, quiet, and untouched beauty, this beach will surely rank towards the very top of your Puerto Rico beaches list. The number 6 beach on this list takes us back to the island of Culebra, where you'll find the beach that many experts ranked number 1, and not just in Culebra or even Puerto Rico, but in the entire Caribbean. Now, it's pretty easy to understand why this beach gets such high marks, as it has soft white sand, vivid blue waters, and numerous amenities such as restrooms, beach rentals, and kiosks to buy food and drinks. And the spot that we're referring to is the famous Flamenco Beach. This beach also has a good amount of parking, which is located just steps from the beach, making it one of the most accessible beaches on this list. Now, despite its beauty, accessibility, and ease of access, this beach does have a few drawbacks that keep it from the very top of our list. The first drawback is that due to it being quite famous and quite easy to access, it does tend to be one of, if not the most crowded and loudest beaches on this list. But the beach is very long, giving you plenty of room to spread out, and if you visit towards sunset on a weekday like we did, you likely won't even have to. Another small drawback of Flamenco Beach is that you will have to bring some cash, as parking is $5 per vehicle, and entering the beach costs another $2 per person. So if you prioritize beauty, amenities, and ease of access on your day on the beach, Flamenco may very well be your number 1. But for us, a few beaches do still rank above it, including our number 5 ranked beach in Puerto Rico, Black Sand Beach. Like a few of our other top Puerto Rico beaches, Black Sand Beach, or Playa Negra, is located on the southern coast of Vieques. But based on the looks of it, you'd think that this beach was located thousands of miles away. While most Vieques beaches offer long stretches of powdery white sand, this beach's sand is a gorgeous mix of black and gold. In addition to this rare mix of sand, Black Sand Beach is also lined in cliffs, making this one of the most unique beaches in Vieques and all of Puerto Rico. While this beach ranks at the very top of our list for both uniqueness and beauty, it is one of the more challenging beaches to access, as you will have to hike around 15 minutes to get here. On the bright side, the trail is well maintained and mostly shaded, parking at the head of the trail is plentiful, and both parking and accessing the beach is absolutely free. Like each of the other not-so-easy-to-access Vieques beaches, amenities at this beach are none, as was our cell reception. But with a more challenging access and less amenities does come less people. And while this beach was a bit busier than the beaches within the refuge, it still had a pretty secluded feel. Now, if your ideal beach day involves sugary white sand and a drink in your hand, you'll obviously be quite disappointed with Black Sand Beach. But if a unique beach experience with remarkable beauty is more your style, then Black Sand Beach could easily fall at the top of your list. With 11 beaches down and just 4 left to go, we want to know about your perfect beach vibe. Is it a secluded white sand beach like you'll find on the south coast of Vieques? A secluded golden sand beach like you'll find on the north coast of Culebra? A breathtaking yet amenity-filled beach like Luquillo and Flamenco? Or something totally unique like Cueva del Indio or Black Sand Beach? Let us know what you prefer in the comments. Now, getting back to the list, our number 4 beach takes us back to the northwest corner of the main island, where you'll find Hobos Beach. Known to be perhaps the best beach for surfing in all of Puerto Rico, Hobos offers reliable waves year-round, which are great for both beginners and experts. But if you're not into surfing yourself, you can still enjoy watching the surfers from the beach, which offers golden sands, surrounding cliffs and greenery, and picturesque views. Now, because of the consistent waves and current at this beach, along with its lack of lifeguards, this beach is not good for swimming, especially on a very windy and wavy day like when we visited. But there is a big perk to visiting Hobos on a windy, wavy day, and that perk is known as the blowhole. We found this huge limestone rock formation along the east end of the beach to be very appropriately named, as the ocean waves are funneled into the rocks and shoot straight up into the sky. We enjoyed watching this phenomenon from both the beach and on top of the limestone, but like Cueva del Indio, the rock here is sharp and you must exercise extreme caution. Hobos will also earn points for those who enjoy walks along the beach, as you can find a perfectly maintained boardwalk just to the east of the blowhole. Hobos Beach also ranks quite highly for amenities, as it does offer beach rentals along with a variety of beachfront spots to grab food and drinks. With all of this to offer, it's no surprise that Hobos ranks towards the top of this list, but there are a few drawbacks that keep it from our #1 spot. The first being that due to its popularity, it can get quite busy, and since this beach isn't the largest, you could feel a little cramped during prime beach time. Another drawback is that despite its popularity, parking is quite limited, and while we had no trouble finding a free spot on the street on our early morning visit, these spots will likely be taken on a busy day, meaning you'll have to pay $5 or more to park in one of the smaller nearby lots, which can also fill up at times. Now, if you're looking for a calm, secluded beach offering lots of peace and quiet, Hobos will surely rank further down on your personal list. But if it's a good mix of beauty, amenities, and uniqueness that you desire, Hobos Beach just might be your #1. With 12 fantastic beaches down, we've saved our favorite 3 Puerto Rico beaches for last, and honestly, any of these 3 beaches could have easily been our #1, and we'll show you why, starting with Playa Resaca. Located just around a mile west of Playa Brava along the north coast of Culebra, Playa Resaca is probably the most challenging beach on this list to access, as not only is it somewhat difficult to locate the trailhead, but you'll also have a somewhat strenuous hike to get there after that. Now, speaking of that hike, it's probably not any farther than the hike to Playa Brava. However, the trail to Playa Resaca is much less flat, much more narrow, and not nearly as well maintained. And if you're not in decent hiking shape and aren't comfortable scrambling over boulders, we can already tell you that this beach is not for you. But if you're like us and love to hike and climb, then the challenge of accessing this beach only adds to its appeal. And even if you don't love hiking, you'll almost surely be glad you made this hike once you've reached this amazing beach. Now, we've shown you a lot of stunning beaches in this video and probably around 100 others on this channel, but in our opinion, the beauty of Playa Resaca is unparalleled. The beach here is long and wide, the sand is soft, and with towering green hills on one side and unbelievably blue waters on the other, this beach is truly straight out of a postcard. And we do have to mention that we had this beach all to ourselves, and there's a pretty good chance you'll have it to yourself on your visit too. Now, I do have to say that this beach was Skylar's #1, as he prioritizes beauty and seclusion when choosing his favorite beach, and he also loves having to go on an adventure to get there. But for me, there are a few downfalls to Playa Resaca which ultimately led it to landing at #3. The first downfall is its obvious lack of amenities, which is something you'd expect at this secluded of a beach. But something I wasn't expecting was the complete lack of shade, and carrying an umbrella down this challenging trail wouldn't be ideal. Also, as you can probably tell, this beach can get extremely windy. And finally, while the water here was some of the prettiest we've ever seen, the waves at Playa Resaca are often strong. And while Skylar enjoys splashing around in the waves, I prefer a bit more of a relaxing swimming experience. With all that said, it's easy to see why this beach ranks #1 for Skylar. And if you love seclusion, beauty, and adventure, it might be your top beach as well. Located in the northeast corner of the main island, Playa Escondida has a bit of an advantage over most of the other beaches on this list, as just like Survival Beach, you get to experience 2 other beaches on the way there. Visiting Playa Escondida begins at Seven Seas Beach, which is easy to access and has a lot of parking, although it will cost you $5 per vehicle. Once parked, you'll find several amenities at Seven Seas Beach, such as restrooms, a food and drink kiosk, beach rentals, and even lifeguards. Now, if you do require amenities for your day at the beach, you'll probably want to stay right here, as where we're going has none to offer. But while Seven Seas Beach is a perfectly fine beach, Playa Escondida is on another level. Now, the hike to Playa Escondida is one of the longer hikes at just over 1 mile each way, but it's also quite comfortable as it's flat, very well shaded, and well maintained. In fact, we even met someone who pulled a fairly large cooler all the way down this trail. Now another great thing about this hike is what you'll find along the way, and that is Playa Colora. And honestly, Playa Colora could have probably made our top beaches list all on its own, as the sand is a unique yet beautiful shade of orangey tan, the waters are a lovely shade of blue, and vivid green hills with coconut palms provide a stunning backdrop. Now if a half-mile hike is all you have in ya, setting up camp here at Playa Colora surely is the way to go. But if you've got more energy and adventure in ya, we'd recommend continuing on. After around another half mile on the trail, you'll reach Playa Escondida, where you'll find more of the same unique sand you'll find at Playa Colora. And while the beach here is a bit more narrow, the waters here seem to be a little calmer, a bit clearer, and a more vibrant shade of blue. And even though this beach was quite narrow towards high tide, it did allow me to be in the shade while being just a few steps from the water, which did earn it a few extra points for me. While this beach may not quite be as picturesque as Playa Resaca, it still ranks high on this list for beauty, and it's much easier to access. And when you add in the perk of visiting Playa Colora along the way, you could easily make the case for putting this beach at number 1. But there's one more beach on our list that just barely edged it out, and that takes us back to beautiful Vieques. Now if you watched our Vieques Beaches video, you already know that we loved Playa Navio, which lies just around a mile east of Sun Bay Beach. But unlike Sun Bay Beach, Playa Navio is a bit challenging to access, as the road there is pretty rough. And while the ride to Navio is a bumpy and adventurous one, accessing this beach won't require any hiking. Now the path leading to Navio may be short, but it's absolutely stunning. And on our visit, we had this beach entirely to ourselves. We loved almost everything about this beach, from the caves to the coconut palms to the beautiful blue waters. And while we also loved that the sand was incredibly white and soft, what we loved most about it was that the only footprints were ours. Now we can't say that this beach is perfect for everyone, as it has no lifeguards and is known to have pretty strong waves, making it not ideal for swimming or for families with young kids. There are also no amenities to speak of at Navio, although the amenities at Sun Bay Beach are only a mile or so away. Now as we show you a little bit more of Playa Navio, we want to mention that even Skylar and I don't agree on our favorite Puerto Rican beach, and we don't expect any of you to agree with this entire list either. But what we do hope is that this list will help you decide which beaches are best for you on your next Puerto Rico adventure. And speaking of adventures in Puerto Rico, you can find a whole lot more of them by clicking on our Puerto Rico playlist right now. Thanks for watching!